All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, here we go. So review question number 1. You know, it's so funny. I even had a note, record the meet, right next to my papers, and I still forgot. All right. It said, question number 1. Determine if the following function is linear or nonlinear. So no math, just testing your knowledge. Just remember, if you are a linear function, it means you can be written in y equals mx plus b form. There were 3 stipulations that said this is not a linear function. Division by a variable, not allowed. Multiplication between variables, not allowed. And then if you have a variable under a square root, not allowed. Guys, in this equation, you are clearly dividing by x. That is not linear. That is not simple. That gets complicated. So this would be a non-linear function. All right, so we're going to keep a track because you're going to have to go list these answers in after school today. So that is non-linear. All right, in case anybody likes to see my list, there it is. Number 1, non-linear. All right, number 2. All right, this one says find the x-intercept of the graph of the given equation. So you've been given a linear equation. It's not in slope-intercept form. It's in standard form. They want you to find the x-intercept. So guys, let me just write it down. 3x minus 4y equals negative 24. I want you guys to remember, intercepts are really important points. They are not entirely unknown points. Every single intercept has to have one of its coordinates be 0. That's what puts it directly on one of the axes. So one of the coordinates has to be 0. So guys, if you're trying to find an x-intercept, you are clearly looking for some x value when the y coordinate has to be 0. Every single x-intercept has a y-coordinate of 0. So go to the equation and let that coordinate be 0. And it became that whole cover and solve process. So if y is 0, let y be 0. Negative 4 times 0, guys, that's 0. That part of the problem is gone. So cover it up. That leaves you with 3x equals negative 24. And then all you have to do to get x is divide by 3. So divide by 3. And you find out that x is equal to negative 8. Now, the direction said to write your answer as an ordered pair, no spaces. So, guys, as an ordered pair, x we just found out is negative 8. We already knew the y-coordinate was 0, so it's negative 8, 0. And that's exactly what you would type in to the answer box using no spaces. So it would look like that. Negative 8, 0, you type it in, no spaces, we call it a day. All right, the next question is extremely similar. And guys, I know I go fast. I'm pressed for time, but please feel free to say something, ask me a question, and tell me to slow down if I'm going too fast. All right, now we want to find the y-intercept, different equation. Now we're finding the y-intercept, and we have to write our answer as an ordered pair. So now the equation is negative 2x plus 5y equals 20. So you can do that whole cover and solve thing again, or there's another way to do the y-intercept. All right, let's see. Guys, if we want to find the y-intercept, we are clearly looking for a y value. When the x-coordinate is, what does the x-coordinate of every y-intercept have to be? 0. So go to that equation and let x be 0. Negative 2 times 0 is 0, guys. That part of the problem is gone, so cover it up. That leaves you with positive 5y equals 20. And then all you do to find y is divide by 5. And then y equals 4. So the y-intercept is positive 4. So as an ordered pair, we knew x was 0. We just found out y is 4. So that's 0, 4. Can I get a thumbs up if everybody's okay so far? Again, I'd like to give you guys more time to do it on your own, but I'll never get through the entire review. So I'm just kind of going over things with you to save time. All right. And you would just put 0, 4, and you're good to go. All right. All right, look at question number 4. Oh, so nice. I don't know about you, but if this ends up being on the quiz, you are welcome. All right. It says the slopes of parallel lines are. What do the slopes of parallel lines have to be to one another? Opposite signs, equal, reciprocals, opposite signs, and reciprocals. Again, I hope this goes all the way back to 8th or 9th grade. We all know that the slopes of parallel lines have to be, I hope you're saying it to yourself, equal. They are definitely equal. That's what makes lines parallel and never meet. They are growing at the exact same rate. All right, I'm going to go to the next question really quick because it's very similar. The slopes of perpendicular lines are. Remember, perpendicular lines meet and they meet at a 90-degree angle. The reason they meet at a 90-degree angle is because of what their slopes are to each other. And there are two conditions. The perpendicular slopes have to be opposite signs and reciprocals. All right. Now, guys, this is not on the review, so if you can, just look at me. If anybody would be brave enough to unmute or write it in the chat, I would be extremely appreciative. Does anybody remember what the slope of all horizontal lines are going to be? Just while we're talking about slopes and different kinds of lines. Does anybody remember what the slope of horizontal lines straight across, no change in the y whatsoever, what the slope of all horizontal lines ended up being? It was always what?
0.
It was 0. Perfect. Thank you, whoever said those two things. It is definitely 0. Might want to write that down. Hint, hint, wink, wink. All right, in case it is important for tomorrow's quiz. All right, the slope of all horizontal lines was always 0. Another important slope. Does anybody remember what the slope of all vertical lines, the straight up and down lines, what was the slope of all vertical lines going to be when there's no change in those x coordinates? I'll give you a hint. It's not a number.
Undefined.
Undefined. It's a word. So every single vertical line has a slope of undefined. Might want to write that down. All right, let's go on to the next questions. And again, I'm just writing it on our list in case anybody likes to see that. All right, I just abbreviated to make it short. So if you are keeping track, question number 4 was equal, and question number 5 was opposite signs and reciprocal. Those were the answers to questions 4 and 5. They were multiple choice, just select them. Okay, let's go to question number 6. All right, guys, you have to find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. So I am going to give you guys about 30 seconds to do this one just to practice finding your slope. So find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. Good old change in y over change in x. Don't write m equals tomorrow, though. You'll literally just type in your slope as the fraction, whatever you get. It's fairly easy. It's just also easy to make a mistake. Watch your signs. Watch your subtracting negative numbers that turn to addition.
Do we simplify? We haven't simplified.
Always simplify. Always reduce.
With like a whole number?
A whole number, I would put it to the whole number. If it became 4 over 1, I would put 4. I did not get a whole number, so be careful. Watch your signs. Slope always starts by subtracting. Sometimes it turns to addition, though, when you subtract a negative number, but it always starts as subtraction. That's how you find the change.
Wait, what was number 5?
Number 5 was opposite signs and reciprocals.
Oh, it's 2 answers?
Yeah, it's going to be multiple choice, so you would just pick the one that said that.
We're on 6, right?
We're on 6. Yep. Oh, Jack, nice job. All right, let me throw my answer up, and you guys can look and see what I got. All right, so I got slope, change in y over change in x. So I got 6 subtract negative 3 turns to addition, and then negative 6 subtract 0. So I got 9 over negative 6. Both of those numbers divide by 3, so it reduces to 3 over negative 2. Guys, I have major OCD, though. I don't like my bottom number to be negative, so I could rewrite it by giving the negative number to the top, and you're just as correct. So either one of them would be perfectly correct answers. So it's not going to be pretty though when you type it into quizzes. You're going to have to use the /. And again, it don't look pretty, but it is the right answer. So let me show you what it looks like when you write it in quizzes. You would just write -3 /2. Or you could put 3 /2. Either one's going to be marked correct tomorrow. Okay? All right, I think the next one is also a slope question. So let me get you the new points. All right, find the slope of the line that goes through those 2 points. Don't forget to reduce if it's possible. What am I doing? I'm writing the points down. Sorry. Okay, let me throw my answer up so we can compare. I got -8 subtract -4 over -3 subtract 2. It got me -4 over -5. The numbers don't reduce, but the signs do. So a negative over a negative is now positive. So it's positive 4/5. So you would just write 4 /5 and it would be marked correct. All right. Again, just make sure you are watching your signs. All right. And then when you see it here, it's just 4 /5. All right. Let's see what question number 8. I think 8 is one more slope question, guys. Yep. Try that one out. 2 new points. Find your slope.
I can't see number 8.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yep. Probably should have been doing that the whole time. I'm so smart. Okay, let me throw my answer up. See what you guys got. I got 9 subtract -4 over -1 subtract -1. So they both turn to addition. So I got 13 over 0, which depending on the order in which you subtract, somebody else may have gotten -13 over 0. It doesn't matter because the minute you divide by 0, that's an undefined operation in math. So the answer has to be undefined. So guys, you would literally type that word in as your answer. So make sure you spell it correctly. No capital letters, no spacing, just it literally is the word undefined. So to show you what it looks like in quizzes, you literally just type in undefined. Okay. I even put the first letter capitalized. I put it all capitalized. I don't know what people are going to write. All right. But the word is undefined. Okay. All right. This one says find the value of R so that the line passing through the given points has the given slope. So guys, when we did slope on day 2, we practiced a few problems like this where you know the slope, you know the end result. It's just one of the coordinates is missing. So you have to figure out what the missing coordinate is to end up having a slope of 2/5. So my advice was set up your slope. Do your change in Y over your change in X, and then set that equal to the given slope, and then you have to solve that equation. So let's get it set up. Everybody do your change in Y over change in X. I'm going to get -5 subtract R over 5 minus 10 and I'm going to set that equal to 2/5. All right, so right now I look like this. That is my change in y over my change in x. I'm going to fix this though because I know what 5 minus 10 is. I know that's -5. So I'm going to make this -5 minus r over -5 equals 2/5. There's a couple different things you can do to solve this now. The way we train you to solve it is by cross multiplying. So guys, you should cross multiply and set them equal. So if I cross multiply this way, I'm going to get -5 times 2 is -10. That's the easy one. Then you're going to set it equal to whatever the other cross product is. So when I cross multiply the other way, you have to distribute the 5 to everything on top. So it's going to be 5 times -5 and 5 times -r. So that's going to be -25 minus 5r. And then hopefully that is a nice, easy equation that everybody can solve. So I'll add 25. I'll get 15 equals -5r. Divide by -5. And you find out that r needs to be -3 in order to make this problem true. Okay? We did a couple like that in the notes. Okay? A few more questions, guys, and we are done. I think there's only one more question that actually requires work on our part. And the other ones will be nice. All right, 10. All right, it's going to be multiple choice. Determine if the following lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, guys, I hope you realize that if you're going to talk about parallel, perpendicular, if you want to know what lines are to one another, there's a piece of information you have to know, and it's slope. You have to know the slope of a line in order to determine whether it's parallel or perpendicular. So we're going to have to find the slope of line 1. We're going to have to find the slope of line 2 and compare them. So everybody do that now. Let's find our slopes. What's the slope of line 1? What's the slope of line 2? Watch your signs. And then always reduce. So I was trying to write everything out. All right, I'll show you my answer and we'll compare. All right, I got the slope of line 1 to be +2/3 after I reduced it. I got the slope of line 2 to be 3/-2. So right away you can rule out parallel. They are clearly not the exact same slope. Could they be perpendicular? It looks like it. This one's positive, this one's negative. This one is 2/3, this one is 3/2. So they are opposite signs and reciprocal. So we got ourselves some perpendicular lines. So you would just go and choose the perpendicular option out of the multiple choice, and there is your answer. All right, the last two we should just be able to look at. All right, look at question 11. They want you to determine whether the following lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. But the good news is, guys, they didn't give us points on a line. They gave us equations of lines. And as long as they're in y equals mx plus b form, like these ones are, m is our slope. So guys, look here. This one has a slope of 1/4 because that would be m. This one has a slope of 1/4 because that would be m. They have the exact same slope. These are clearly parallel lines. So number 11, you would just choose parallel, move on to the next question. All right, the last one, number 12, almost the exact same question, just two different lines. Again, determine if these lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Lucky for us, they are both written in y equals mx plus b form. So I know this slope is negative 3/5, and I know this slope is negative 5/3. Clearly they're not the same, so parallel is out. They are reciprocal, but they're both negative. So they're not the condition that we need them to be in order to be perpendicular. So this one would have to be, neither. All right. So now we ended up with 11 being parallel and number 12 being neither. And again, I almost wrote perpendicular. All right, so again, in case you're keeping track and want to see it, we are going to say number 11 is parallel and number 12 is neither. Okay, guys, woo, that's the review. So like I said, tomorrow, no Google Meet. Just find a nice chunk of time where you are going to be able to take your quiz before 11:45 at night. All right, let me stop this.